Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk about how to create monsters. As a kid who was terrified of almost everything I found, it was very odd that I really enjoyed painting crazy monster designs. I still remember the day when I first played Resident Evil 2 when it came out on the PS1. This game gave me trauma that lasted a lifetime. Going through the first zone of the game was so terrifying, and then meeting the first boss, I just couldn't sleep for weeks. This game will forever haunt me as one of the best horror experiences I have ever had as a kid. And I think one of the things that I want to do as an artist is to create a design that can have lasting impact on the players. And that's how I came up with some of my designs, like Octoqueen. She's a mysterious leader of Octoheads, and like any royalty, she has knights who will protect her at all costs. Kind of like punch first, ask questions later. But before we delve into that, let's talk about how to create your own monster. And if you're good with creating human characters, I can break down a really easy way to turn anything into an evil spawn. Some of the distinct traits of monsters that they look out of this world. So really anything that doesn't look ordinary. So let's take a look at this for example. This is just a normal human. I tried my best to do it as fast as I could. And this silhouette kind of portray someone who's standing up. So first of all, if you want to turn this into a monster, these arms have to go. And you already have a great start. And you can shape this into anything you want. So if you wanted to make it look like Silent Hill movie, you can just get the arms to go around him. And if you wanted to make it look like an alien, you can add some tentacles. Or if you wanted to look like a very vicious monster, give it really long arms. If you wanted to play a little bit with the shape of the body, you can shape it into something else. So if you wanted to keep it humanoid, you can just shave it down. And if you wanted to give it a little bit of a creepy factor, you can just shape it even more. Now moving on to the legs. You have so many ways to deal with it. Most people just add muscles or make them shorter, and this actually just works and it can do the job. And sometimes you don't even need to do a lot. You just keep it there and do the bare minimum and it will look fine. And it's completely up to you. You can add even a reverse animal legs to give it a full creepy vibe. Think of your design as Lego pieces that you can do so much with. That's how most of the games are being done. Just like Spore and No Man's Sky. Some of these monsters have the same design concept. Now let's go back to our main design. I really enjoyed creating them, especially Octoqueens and the Knights. But for whatever reason, this one stood out for me and I thought like this one needs an update. And I wanted some of the Knights to have no humanoid look and give it a full alien treatment. So I kept the old one on the side as a reference and I worked my way up from there. And I find it a lot easier to begin with something that's already made and change it later, rather than just starting from a blank page. And I literally thought like, why don't I give it like claws like Wolverine, but I realized that it just doesn't fit what I wanted to begin with. I still wanted it to look like an alien. So I scrapped that and I started to mold it into a new shape that could fit the design of a floating cephalopod. Since they look like aliens already, it made it a lot easier to go from there. And I find it always difficult to create a creepy looking face without making it look silly. So when I find myself in that position, I just realize like maybe less is more and just try and go back to the basics. And sometimes not seeing how the monster look like, especially in the game, makes it look creepier. It's a hack even Hollywood movies use it to bring your imagination to play. So I opted to go with a mouth that reveals a face underneath, and give me an option to add really cool attacks with it later on. I also like the idea of having a coat as a cloth armor to make it look more medieval. I don't always have a clearer look on how I would want this to look like, but that's why I enjoy working with silhouettes, because I can always go back and redo it without worrying about any of the details. And I really enjoyed the look of the bottom tentacle, so I'll keep those. Now just gonna add a little bit more animation to see how it looked like in the games. Also adding it back to the initial concept art to see if it fits the whole narrative. And this is how the final look looks like. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far and you're interested in optimizing things and becoming better, I've created a new Discord server for like-minded people who wants to take this journey to the next level, and you can find it in the links below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like and a comment. It will really help me with the algorithm and help the channel grow. If you enjoyed this video, you'll enjoy this video as well. Thank you so much, and remember, just take it one day at a time, and I'll see you in the next video.